Hey Fashion Minions, I have a fun video for you today. It's tips for college. In honor of my nephew graduating this month actually, I decided I wanted to put my 2 cents into things that I've learned and I've experienced and that I can pass on to you. So the sun is going down, so I don't know how well this video will be lit, but let's get started. So I have my little list here, not in any particular order, and this isn't just for freshmen. It's if you're a junior, a senior, a sophomore, it doesn't matter. And if you haven't done these things, do them because they benefit you and they're fun to do, or they're just stuff that I've already experienced and I feel like they're useful for college experiences. So number one, and this is something I learned very recently, and hate to say it, but I've been in college for 5 years and I just learned this, but apply for your FAFSA early. You can apply as early as the first or second week of January. Even if you haven't filed your taxes, you can click on the will file, but it saves you a seat, technically speaking, and you get more money that way. So I definitely recommend apply for your FAFSA as soon as you can, because that way you're ahead of everybody, supposedly. Okay, so that's something I just learned. I definitely recommend it. So yeah, do that. If you haven't applied for your FAFSA for the fall, do it right now. Stop this video and go do it. I'm just kidding. Keep watching. Okay, so kind of a silly tip, but you should probably be a nerd in college. It's not about being cool most of the time. It's not about impressing people. You're there for your benefit. You're getting your education. You're bettering yourself. So you want to take those extra steps to make sure you're getting everything you need to get out of your education. So my next tip is sit up front. It's really distracting in huge classrooms of 300 students to sit all the way in the back and you can barely hear the professor. The slides are super small. I definitely recommend sit in within the first three rows. It's less distracting. You don't hear the door opening and closing. You can see the slides. The professor takes time to look at you and recognize you. So be a little bit of a nerd. Sit up front. I definitely recommend it. I've noticed the kind of information that I get out of a class if I sit up front versus if I sit in the back. I feel like I just don't get as much out of it. So silly tip, but try it before you throw it out and be like, no way. Just try it. Okay. Another fun silly tip, or the first fun silly tip, wear pajamas to one of your classes. Everybody does it, and it's probably the only time in your life where you get to do something like that. I've done it because I've had early classes and I've woken up late and I just rolled out of bed and went to class. But it's just kind of something that I feel like you're never going to experience that again, to be able to wear your pajamas in a setting like that. I don't know. I just feel like everybody should at least do it once. You know what I'm saying? Kind of silly. Just my opinion. All right. So, enough of the silly for now. I definitely see a difference in my personal grades if I have a study group. Now, not every class is going to have a study group, especially the straightforward read the book, take the test kind of classes. You don't usually have a study group for that. But your math classes, your science classes, your anatomy classes, I know this is science, but classes like that make a study group. I don't care if you don't know one person in that classroom. You say hi to the person sitting next to you and change phone numbers or emails or something, because it makes a huge difference. It's an easier way to boost up your grade. And along with this tip, utilize tutors. There are free tutoring things on most campuses. I mean, I haven't heard of anybody not being able to find free tutoring, especially for those math classes that are brutal. Make use of these things. I can't believe people who pass these things up. Like, holy cow. Make use of them. Find out where they are. Find out what time they have schedules. And make friends in your classes. Say hi to people. If that person's schedule clashes with yours, say hi to somebody else. I mean, you're going to benefit from a study group, but so are they. So definitely, this is probably my number one tip. I love this tip. It's gotten me through some really hard classes. Okay, so number 5. Check and double check, never assume. I've come across some pretty messed up problems because it's not really straightforward when you're starting off in college. They don't tell you what classes to take. They don't sit down and hold your hand and tell you how to do everything, how to find the good professors, how to make study groups, how to do all these things. It's so confusing, intimidating, and scary when you're first starting off. So I recommend never assume anything. I learned that the hard way. And I'm trying to think of the example that got me really in the dirt kind of problem that I had to sort out and fix for myself. One thing being, don't always assume because this class coincides with your major that you need to take it kind of thing. I've taken classes I didn't even need, and it was a waste of my time and money. So check things, double check things, ask questions. People are there to answer phone calls, answer questions, advisors, people at desks, things like that. I mean, double check, ask. I'm trying to think of that example, but I can't think of it. It's something to do with paperwork. It was a nightmare. Okay, so going along with the advisors, check your schedules or get a schedule from your advisor. I've taken classes that I didn't need, and it was super frustrating. Even to this day, I'm just like kicking myself for it because all it takes is one little trip down to the office and being like, hey, this is what I'm planning on taking. Do I absolutely positively need it? Use the catalog online for your major, things like that. So yeah, definitely double check your schedules. Just do it. Okay, so I have also recently learned these things. Joining a club and doing internships. They don't really go hand in hand, but they're branching out of the normal flow of college. I mean, it doesn't have to do with going to class, your grades, your GPA, blah, 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 blah. It has more to do with who you're connecting with, where you're going, things that you can accomplish. It's kind of, I'm not saying the right thing, but if you join a club, it looks good towards future, maybe a career, maybe a job, maybe, something along those lines. Getting to know people. I definitely recommend it. I know usually our schedules are so crazy. How are we supposed to balance all this? But at least it's like once a week. You could probably fit something in, once a week for an hour, go volunteer, something like that. I'm trying to get into a club for an honors program. I'm just trying to give you an example of what I mean. They have you volunteer at least 3 events in the semester, so that's like almost once a month, but not quite. And I think you have to, you have to go to one meeting also during the semester, and I think they have a meeting once a month. And when you graduate, you get a special ceremony through them. You also get like a certificate or rights to put that on your resume kind of thing that you were involved with them. It's UPD, if you've heard of it. It's like a Health Service Administration organization is all it is. But that kind of stuff, it helps. It doesn't hurt at all to do these things. It helps. And I also, from my professor's mouth to you, they were recommending me, all of us in the class, to do internships because when we graduate, we all have that fear of how am I going to find a job? Sometimes it's easier for other majors to find jobs than others, but the interning also, I also found out that internships will pay. Maybe like a subsidy at the end of the semester term or whatever, or an hourly rate. So there are opportunities out there for you to work in your chosen field while you're in school. But having the internships look good on your resume, I mean, they look really good on your resume. Having that experience and the knowledge, I'm just trying to start my internships, so I'll have more information on that probably later on and see and tell you, am I getting the kind of experience I'm going to be using in my field of study or not. But I'm sure I will be. So that's my 2 cents on that. Number 8, get to know at least one professor. If you're thinking about grad school, which majority of people in college are, they at least think about it, but getting to know a professor is difficult. It's time consuming, it's intimidating, I know, but you do need reference letters to get into grad school, and that's the bottom line, you need them. So it's impertinent that you get to know at least one of your professors, and they know you by name, they know your work, they know that you're a leader, you show leadership qualities. That's the kind of thing that graduate school looks at. So I definitely recommend it. So number 9, I don't know if this makes any sense, but start trends. I mean this as in don't always go with the flow. This is a part in your life, freshmen mostly, a part of your life where you're not in high school anymore. You don't have to dress and talk and act the same way as everybody else. Not everybody cares in college. I mean, you might know one person in that class, but the rest of everybody else, you won't ever see them again after that semester. But I'm just saying, show your colors in college. Show the world what you have to offer in yourself. That's what I mean by start a trend. If you like crazy looking hair, do crazy looking hair. Nobody's gonna judge you, and it's the best place for you to get it out of your system. Or, just, I don't know. I'm having a hard time explaining this, obviously. So I'm moving on. No, it's not my last tip. Technically my last tip. I had so much fun going to UCF's football game, and I only went to one. And as I'm getting to know more and more people, I feel like it's going to be a more fun thing to do. So I definitely recommend going to some kind of sporting event that your school might have, just because it's super fun. And when are you going to get to go for free again? I mean, utilize this kind of thing. Okay, and my last tip is have fun and enjoy it. I mean, you only get 4 years, or in my case 6, to experience the college life and get your education and make new friends. And I wish everybody luck out there, all of us aspiring to be better and better ourselves, and just make something of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I feel like this video was all over the place, but that's okay. So I'll see you again soon. Bye.